So student, today we will start chapter number 3. So in chapter number 3, title or the topic is about vectors. So this is very important for further chapters. So in this chapter, we will study about the scalars and the vectors, and then the coordinate systems, and then the laws of addition of vectors, and then we will see some subtraction of vectors, negative of vectors like this one. And then at the end, it will be a very important article, and that is the rectangular components of vectors. So first I'm starting this chapter from the previous concept, which I have given you in the chapter number 1. So in chapter number 1, we have discussed the physical quantities, okay, and then we discussed the 7 basic physical quantities, okay. So you remember that in physical quantities, when we define the physical quantities, we are saying that physical quantities are those quantities which can be measured with some instrument. So for any physical quantity, we need some numerical value, and then the unit. So if I'm writing here, suppose 2 meter, then 2 is the numerical value and meter is the unit. So if we write any quantity in terms of this physical quantity, mean that we need only the numerical value, and numerical value is sometimes called magnitude. It is called magnitude. So for scalars, now I am defining the scalars. So in case of scalars, we need 2 things. One is the numerical value or the magnitude. Numerical value I'm writing here, and then is the unit. So all numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 with some units, they are called scalars. And scalars multiplication, scalars addition, or scalar division or subtraction, you know very well, and you can do this job with an ordinary algebra. So you can multiply 2 by 2 is equal to 4, or 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, and 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So you know very well this one. And this is ordinary algebra. Ordinary algebra means the algebra which you have already studied in the class 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this one. Okay. But here the game is vectors. So if the quantities are in vectors, then their addition, their subtraction, their multiplication is different. It is not like this one, okay? Because it has direction. So that's why it creates trouble. It creates problem. So I am coming towards the vectors. So see the vectors. So when we are seeing vectors, we need normally 3 things. One is the magnitude or the numerical value, magnitude, number 2 units, and number 3 direction. So these 3 things need for a vector. So we represent the vectors. If I am writing that 2 kilometer towards north, so it means 2 is the magnitude and kilometer is the units and north is the direction. So I can write like this one, the vectors, but here in our case, we will write the vectors if I am saying in journal form, if I am saying that A is a vector, then we will put here an arrowhead. Sometimes in some books it is written like this one. In some books it is written like this one or like this one. Okay. But you can write like this one or this one. It's okay. So vectors are physical quantities which have magnitude, units, and direction. So in the previous chapter, we have studied two terms. One is the distance and one is the displacement. You remember that here the distance is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity, but displacement is a vector quantity. And similarly, the speed is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar. And velocity is a vector quantity. It is a vector. And similarly, acceleration is a vector quantity. So when quantities are vectors, then their addition, subtraction, multiplications are different. It is not like with an ordinary algebra. Okay. After this, to represent a vector, we are normally using the directions. Two types of direction. One is the geographical directions, north, south, east, west. And others, we are using the X and Y axis. If we have this X and Y axis, we are making like this one, an angle theta. So theta is actually the directions. Okay. After this, you should know that if a body is moving from A to B, okay, and then B to A, its distance is D, then we can say the distance is 2D. Okay. But we know that the displacement is 0 because it is D minus D, and this is a vector quantity. So it will cancel and answer will be 0. So you should remember this one thing. And the second thing, which is very important, and this is the coordinate system. So coordinate system mean what? Coordinates already you have studied in mathematics. If you have 2 or 3, this is ordered pair or coordinates. You can draw this 2, 3 like this one, 1, 2 and 1, 2, 3. And your point is here. This point is 2, 3. Okay. So in the same way, if we have X and Y, so we can represent it. It is along X axis, some value, and is along Y axis is here. So you can make it like this one. And the displacement from this origin point, reference point, this is the reference point, to the end point, you can draw this line. And this is X, this is Y, and this is R, and this angle is called theta. And here X, Y is called, this is called Cartesian coordinates. Cartesian coordinates. Okay. So X, Y is called Cartesian coordinates. And you can find the value of X, Y, and R. So here we can convert these Cartesian coordinates to the polar coordinates. Polar coordinates. So polar coordinates are what? Polar coordinates are r và theta. This is called polar coordinate. So xy is called Cartesian coordinates. So we can make a relation between Cartesian coordinates and a polar coordinate. And how we can make a relation? We can make a relation with this triangle. This is Pythagoras theorem. This is angle theta. So x over r is equal to cos of theta. and y over r is equal to sine of theta. So x is equal to r cos of theta and y is equal to r sine of theta. So if we know r and theta value, we can find the x and y value. And r you can find here from the Pythagoras theorem, r is equal to x square plus y square and under root. This is our r value. So here what I want to say, I want to clear here that how we can convert the Cartesian coordinates into a polar coordinates. Okay. So you can solve this one, and also, so remember here that x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sine of theta. So if you want to find the theta, so theta, you can divide it and make it tangent theta. So it means r sine theta divided by r cosine theta is equal to y over x. This is y, this is x. So if you cancel this r, then sine theta over cosine theta is equal to tan theta, and this is equal to y over x. And theta is equal to tangent inverse y over x. So this is the formula we will use to find the value of the theta if the y and x both values are positive. Yes.
Doctor, can we use the formula directly?
Directly mean you mean this one?
Yes, without the
Yes.
proof.
Yes. Without the proof. This is not a very big proof. This is just for your understanding. Okay. So you have to remember that x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sine theta, and theta is equal to tan inverse y over x. Okay. Y over x. But this formula is valid if x and y both positive. So in mathematics, you have studied maybe that this is called quadrants. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, this is fourth quadrant. Okay. Now I want to make some discussion on these quadrants because this is very important. So theta is equal to tan inverse y over x. If x is positive, y is positive, we will apply this formula. Tan inverse y over x. This is in the first quadrant. But in the second quadrant, if x is negative and y is positive, so it means the angle is here. Okay. So what you will do? You will apply the formula theta is equal to 180 minus tan inverse y over x. Okay. If it is in the third quadrant, you will apply the formula 180 plus tan inverse y over x without plus and minus. If it is in the fourth quadrant, how we know that it is in fourth quadrant? If both are negative, I mean that x is negative and y is negative, it means it is here in the fourth quadrant. So the theta value will be 360 because here you go 180, 270 and 360. So 360 minus tan inverse y over x. So these are the four formulas we are using to find the value of theta. So it depends on either x and y both positive, one positive or one negative or both negative. So it depends on the quadrants. If it is in the first quadrant, then the same formula. If it is in the second quadrant, it is 180 minus. If it is in the third quadrant, it is 180 plus. So why we are adding 180 plus? Because we want to make the angle here. Okay. 360 minus 1 mean the angle should be in the fourth quadrant. So that's why. Okay. After this, so here you can see some examples and problems in the book. So you can see that this is example number 3.1. In example 3.1 is very simple, that he has given some coordinates, x and y coordinates are giving, and this is minus 3.5 and minus 2.5. So you want to find the R value and theta value. Okay. So how you can find the R value and theta value? So R value will be what? R value will be x square plus y square. So here x is this one and y is this one. Okay. So you can take the square, minus 3.5 square plus minus 2.5 square, but minus squares are always positive. Okay. So when you solve this one, you will get the value of 4.30 meters. So this is your R value. So if you want to find the theta value, so you can see that both x and y are negative. It means our answer should be like this one, 360 minus. So what we will do, we will make the, sorry, not a 360 minus, it should be in the third quadrant, okay? Because here it is negative. Sorry, here I put here negative. Here it is positive and here it is negative. And here x is negative and y is negative. So what we will do, we will apply the formula that theta is equal to 180 plus tan inverse y. Y is this value. So without negative sign like this one, 2.5 divided by 3.5. So you can solve it and get the answer. And this is your answer. Okay. So you can find the value of R and theta in this way. Okay. So there are some other questions, you can solve it yourself. Okay, after this coordinates. So I have just explained you what is the scalar, what is vector, and what are the coordinate system. Coordinate system mean how you can convert the Cartesian coordinates into polar coordinates. Okay. So other is the properties of vectors. Properties of vectors. So properties of vectors mean what? So first property is the equality. Equality mean that how two vectors can be equal. So remember that two vectors can be equal if their magnitude is same, if their value is same, and number two, their direction is same, and number three, their unit is same. Okay. So if I'm saying that 2 kilometer towards north, the other vector should be like this one. Okay. Otherwise they are not equal. So A vector magnitude, you can write like this one. A vector magnitude is equal to B vector magnitude. So remember, if I'm writing like this one, this is a vector. If I'm writing like this one or this one in this way, then this is called magnitude. In the next topic, we will see if I'm writing like this one, then it will be unit vector. So remember, if you change this notation, the theme must be changed. So here I'm writing the magnitude. If I'm writing like this one, it means I'm writing the vectors. Two vectors are equal. When their magnitude should be same, their direction should be same, and their units should be same. So this is the equality of any vector property. After this, the most important thing is in this chapter is the addition of vectors. Addition of vectors. So in addition of vectors, you know that in scalars, we can add like this one. We can add the addition of two vectors like this one. But what will be their resultant? This is important. Resultant. Here resultant mean 5. But here resultant means some other things. Although it is equal, sum of this one, but we must mention some direction with that resultant. So to add two vectors or three vectors or four vectors, we have two methods. One is the graphical way, graphical method, or you can say it is head to tail rule. Head to tail rule. Okay. So head to tail rule or graphical way is what? If we have this vector A and this vector B and this vector C. So we want to add these three vectors. What we will do? We will combine the head of A vector with the tail of the B vector. So this is head and this is tail. So with the same direction, we make this line, this is B vector. Then the tail of the third vector, C vector, with the head of the second vector. It is like this one. Okay. This is C vector in the same direction like this. So when you add by head to tail rule, then the last step is this one. You join from the head of the, from the tail of the first vector with the head of the last vector. So this is our line. Okay. This line is showing the resultant vector and its direction will be not like this one. Its direction will be not like this one. This is wrong. Okay. Its direction will be not like this one. Its direction will be like this one. Like this one. So if you have two vectors, their resultant will be this one. What will be the direction? Direction will be this one. Okay. So you should understand the graphical way. So you will do this one experiment, this force table or total kuwa, maybe some students have done or not done, you will do. So in that experiment, you will use the graphical method and also the analytical method. Okay. Let's see. First, this one. Okay. You understand this one? Okay.
That's clear.
Okay. After this, another concept is that is the subtraction of vectors. This is last I have explained the addition and now the subtraction of vectors. Subtraction of vectors. Okay. So normally in the scalar, we subtract like this one. Okay. R4 minus 2 is equal to 2. So here what we will do? So if we have A vector and we want to subtract the B vector, what we will do? We will write this one in this style. Because we cannot subtract the two vectors directly. First, what we will do? We will make this vector, and this vector is called negative vector. It is called negative vector. So for the subtraction, first we will make a negative vector and then add it into the first vector. Okay, see, if we have this vector A and this vector, suppose B, we want to find A minus B. What we will do? We will do like this one. So this is B and we make it like this one. This is minus B. So minus B is the same vector, but in opposite direction. Is the same vector, but in opposite direction. So you can draw by head to tail rule. So this is A vector and this is minus B vector. So the tail of the second vector with the head of the first vector in this way. This is minus B. Okay. So this line will give you A minus B. So this is the subtraction of the vectors. Okay. So here the important thing is we cannot subtract two vectors directly. First, we make the negative vector and then add it into the first vector. Clear?
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
When we draw the last line, how do we know where the direction is? It's always to the right?
See, this is one vector A. Okay. This is another vector B. So the last line is from here to here. Okay. From here to here. So where will be the direction? This will be the direction. Okay. If I draw this line A and minus B, I draw the line here. So what will be the direction? This one. From the tail of the first vector to the head of the last vector. This will be the direction.
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. After this, now I have discussed two things. One is the addition and one is the subtraction. And in subtraction, I have explained the negative of the vector. Okay. So the next part of this article is multiplication. I'm writing multiplication of a vector by scalar or by number, because all scalars are numbers. Okay. So this means what? This means that if you want to multiply a vector, this is a vector, by a scalar number is 2, 3, 4, 5, like this one. Or you can write n into a. Here n can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to multiply a scalar with the vector, it's very easy way, very, very easy. Suppose if a vector is this one and you want to find 2a, so 2a will be double of this one. 2a will be double of this one, but its direction will be the same as in the first. So if I want to multiply with minus 2a, so it will be same like this one, but in this direction. So this is called multiplication of a vector and a scalar. But we can also multiply two vectors. Two scalar multiplication you already studied in class 3, 4. You know that 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. But here you are studying 2 multiplied by with some vector. But you will not study maybe here in this syllabus, but I will tell you something, how to multiply a vector and a vector. If we want to multiply two vectors, then the things are a little technical and difficult. But if I want to multiply a vector and a scalar, then things are very simple. Understand this one?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. After this, one thing is very, very important when you solve the problems, when they are giving you the directions. Okay. So in the direction case, this is our north, this is our south, this is east, this is west, and this is called geographical directions. Geographical mean you can search your home, you can see that in which direction the road is going on. Okay. So here some terms are very important. One term is northeast. Northeast mean what? Northeast mean the angle between north and east is 45 degree. Either you can take this angle or this angle. It is the same one. This is called northeast. Similarly, you can say northwest. Northwest mean this angle, 45 degree. Northeast mean 45 degree. West south mean 45 degree. Southeast mean 45 degree. This is clear. But if it is written that a 60 degree, if I'm writing 60 degree west of north, 60 degree west of north. So what will be the angle? I will
30.
make, surely I will make some angle of 60 degree west of north. You will start from north and going to west. The angle is not this one. This is, sorry, north of west. Yes, this is west. North of west mean you will take this angle. West of north mean you start from north and going towards west. This angle. You will not take this angle. West of north doesn't mean this angle. West of north mean start from north and going towards west. This angle. Understand? If I'm writing this 30 degree north of east, what is the angle? This is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. North of east. It means I will start from east towards north. So this is the angle, and this angle is north of east. Starting from east and going towards north. If I'm writing 30 degree east of north, so you will take this angle, 30 degree. This is north, this is east. You understand or not?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing which is very important for vectors, that is that you can shift the vectors. Shift the vectors mean what? If one vector is here, okay, you can shift this vector in the same way from here to here. So this shifting is very important in some time when we solve the problems. Okay, so we can shift the vectors. This is important. Okay, after this, there are some other properties of vectors. That is the parallel vectors. Parallel. Parallel mean if two vectors have the same direction, like this one and this one, then the angle between them will be 0 degree. In parallel, the angle will be 0. In anti-parallel, the angle will be 180 degree. If one vector is here and one vector is here, the angle between them is 180 degree. Okay. So this is the parallel and this is the anti-parallel. And the third is the zero vector. Zero vector mean its magnitude is 0. Its magnitude is 0 and it has direction, and that direction we call it arbitrary. So arbitrary direction. So zero vector concept exists in physics. Zero is a vector. It has zero magnitude and some direction, arbitrary direction. So remember this one. So parallel vectors, anti-parallel vectors, and zero vector concept. So the next concept will be, this is called the unit vector concept. Unit vector. Zero vector mean zero magnitude. Unit vector mean the magnitude, if this is a vector, it has magnitude is equal to 1. Then we call it a unit vector. So unit vector is very, very important in our this chapter. So A is a vector, its magnitude is 1, then we call it unit vector, and normally we write the unit vector with like this one, with this cap. This is called vector. This is called, or like this one, this is called magnitude or scalar. If you write like this one, then this is called unit vector. So unit vectors are used for directions. They are used for directions. So unit vector is a vector. You know that if I want to write a vector needs 3 things. One is the magnitude, one is the direction, and one is the unit. Okay. So if I write a vector, this is a vector, and this vector has 3 things. Suppose one is the magnitude. This is magnitude. And other is the unit vector. Unit vector mean direction. This is magnitude and this is direction. So you can write a vector in this form. This is a vector and this is equal to magnitude and direction. So what will be the unit vector? Unit vector will be vector divided by the magnitude. Vector divided by the magnitude. So this equation is very, very important for our problem solving. Okay. So another another way is this one. If we have, this is a vector, it is making an angle of 30 degree with x-axis, this one. And this is a b vector. Its direction is like this one. And it's making an angle of 60 degree. This is b vector. Now the question is, find the angle between A and B. Find angle between A vector and B vector. So what you will do? So remember, you have to make the two vectors in this style to find the angle between these two vectors. Okay. So what you will do? You will extend this line like this one. And now this is the shifting. Here I told you that you can shift the vectors. The vector is actually here. I shift this vector in the same way in the next, this line. So if this is 60 degree, then this will be what? According to mathematics, this is 60. If this is 60, then what is this angle?
30.
30, because the total is 90. Okay. So what will be the angle between A and B?
60.
60. So in this way you can find 60. So here what I want to say, what I want to give you the concept. The concept is this one. If one vector is here and the other vector is here, how you can find the angle? Okay, so what you will do, you will shift this vector and put it here like this one, and then find this angle. Okay, this is very, very important concept which I have given you, but you must remember the concept of northeast and north of east. This is important. Northeast mean the angle is 45 degrees, and north of east mean you will take the angle from east towards north, not from north towards east. Okay. So, brother, this is the total story of this lecture, and next time we will study a more very good concepts of analytical method to add the vectors, and we will use the cosine law and the sine law, and then we will find the rectangular components. And this chapter is very, very small, and after those articles this chapter will finish, and then we will solve the problem. Yes, if you have any question you can ask me.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, understand?
Inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. Okay, thank you. So and see you in the next lecture. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.